What is going on, everybody? While we're waiting for a few bits of hardware and stuff to show up to do our flat floor, we're going to go ahead and use our 3D printer to design and print a drag reducing cover, I'll call it, for our AIM antenna. Alright, so we're gonna hop on the whiteboard, and I got two trains of thought. So let's say the windshield comes up like this. There's the top of the roof, back of the roof, probably much steeper than it is, and we have almost like a little brick right here. A-pillar comes up, there's the window, back quarter window. So if you know a little bit about aerodynamics, you know that you kind of get like a high pressure bubble right here at the base of the windshield. Going up over the top of the windshield, the air wants to speed up and you'll get a low pressure or like a lift right here. You sort of have a lift zone across the whole roof of the car. You know, you get a lot of lift right here as the air accelerates down, and then you usually get separation off the back, you know, depending what car it is. I don't have the steepest rear glass, so it's not terrible. E36s would be pretty bad. Corvettes are pretty good, so you get the idea. So the air comes along, hits this, wants to go either kind of like towards us around or like up and over, and you'll just get separation off the top of it. It might not be terrible because it might actually reduce some of this lift, but you gotta think we also have, you know, the wing. It's an awesome wing, right? Hanging off the back of the car. Now, it's not very big. This is very minute. It's a little bit more of like a fun project, more so than like a huge performance gain, but performance gain nonetheless. So, looking at it like this, we obviously want to, you know, have some sort of, we can either go make a piece like this that goes on the front to kind of like bridge into it, and a piece off the back kind of does the same thing, so the air kind of like hits it and goes over it. But if that's the case, what's going to happen is you're now creating even like more lift off of this little tiny area. So we're going to do something. Let's erase this and restart. Now we're gonna do something. If you watch LMP, you know, prototype cars, a trend over the last, I don't know, 10 years or so, if you look at their front fenders, they used to kind of be like a normal sloping backward shape. A modern LMP2 car, you know, you have the splitter, the fender almost comes like straight up like this, and then it might have, you know, and then here's the, you know, the cockpit. Oops. Here's the cockpit of the car. The wheel would be here, and they almost kind of look something like this. They have, you know, the headlights in it and everything. The reason they kind of have this blunt edge, because an old style that has like a slanted edge like this, you get a lot more lift off of it. A style, the more modern style that comes out and down, the air hits it and either has to come what would be effectively toward us and like around the side of the car, or they might channel it to the inside and they have some sort of like inner, you know, wing splitter type thing, and then, you know, channel it like out the back. So what I'm going to do on this you know, GPS cover is I'm actually going to do kind of almost come straight off the front, straight off the back, but from a top view. Let's say our GPS box is like this. The top view will actually kind of, you know, come down like that, and then the top, maybe a little bit longer to like trail it off, will be something like that. That way when the air hits it, it'll kind of want to go around the sides, rather than, you know, back to a side view. If we had it slanting on it, it would want to go over it. Now, the big difference is if we speed up air around the side of it, you know, you're going to have faster moving air basically across this zone of the roof. So you'll kind of create a little bit more lift on the roof rather than, you know, the cover or the GPS box itself. Again, this is really small stuff, kind of Aero theory at this point. You know, I'm not going to run CFD on something like this, but you know, I think it might be kind of neat just to do and try and kind of see what we come up with. Alright, so I started by taking a picture of the GPS unit with a ruler for scale from the top, the side from the front, and the side from the back. So I already did the front. So what I did was I uploaded the picture. It's not quite square on, but you can see how I kind of traced the outline of it for the undercut. And then the top will kind of come up and over it, where if you remember the side picture here, it's going to kind of come up and over to kind of bridge this gap a little bit, but leave most of the box uncovered so it still gets a good satellite signal. So what I'm going to do is just kind of time lapse through what will be the back half. Then we'll go ahead and get it sliced and ready to print. Alright guys, so I'm pretty much done. Here's all the pieces. These little thin ones I'm going to print out just for the mounting template or the hole template. So that way I can just lay them up there, drill the holes that will be printed into this upper piece very accurately. So that'll be nice. But you can kind of see, I think I'm in the you know, assembly studio. I think I missed a little bit, so it doesn't quite line up, but you know, good enough just to kind of see what I'm going for. So that's kind of about it. So we're gonna go ahead, get this sliced and printed. Alright, so I got the templates going on my Ender 3 in black, and then the finished pieces will be blue. They're going on my CR10S. So these are about a 4.5 hour print to get these done. So once they're done, I'll go and get them on the car. Alright, so here's the pieces done, printed. Pretty happy with how they came out, and then the templates. So kind of what we want to do is just line it up, make our marks for our holes, front and rear. They serve their purpose, and then install these front and rear. I think the only thing I'm kind of not too happy about is this little screw hole right here. Kind of leaves a little bit of a gap. It's really not too bad. And then from the side, might be a little hard to see. The front one's a little bit taller than I think I would have liked, but it's kind of negligible at this point. So we're gonna go ahead and drill our holes and get these mounted and just kind of wrap up this little tiny project. One other thing to note is I did try just unscrewing this, but it almost like free spins. So I don't know if there's like a nut in there or whatever. I feel like it would open up a hole to the inside, whatever, you know, electronics are in here. So that's kind of why I'm gonna leave it and just kind of butt this up. I could kind of get like a little Dremel and grind out like a little notch, or if I really wanted to do it again, the CAD file, I could just make an indent right here to kind of clear that. But you know, being kind of a long print, and I don't think it's that big of a deal, we're just gonna kind of butt it up. And then very last thing to note is, you know, these holes are printed to accept a number 6 panhead screw. You know, should make it nice and easy to install. Alright, so we're just gonna go ahead and kind of line this up by eye. We know we need a little bit of a gap. Now, just as a placeholder, I'm just going to go and put a screw in to the sheet metal this way, so that way this won't move on us. Same thing on this second hole, just enough to kind of, now the template won't go anywhere. Now we're going to expand them all from 1/8 inch to about 7/32. All right. Oh, you know what I should probably do? I think I'm going to put a little piece of like tape over each hole to act as like a gasket, so when it gets squeezed down, shouldn't have to worry about any water issues, because we do race in the rain, and you can't tell, but I do wash this car every now and then. Alright, so I put little pieces of basically electrical tape over the holes to kind of act as little gaskets to seal these. So now that's all that's left, is to screw them in from underneath. Alright, so there it is, all finished up. So you can see the much more streamlined shape of it from the top. You know, from the side, we went over our whiteboard theory earlier. So I'm pretty happy with it. Looks kind of cool. It ain't going anywhere. So yeah, I think that's about it for this little project. I hope you guys like this one. Had a little bit of like aerodynamic theory, design, 3D printing and stuff. So if you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. Also, hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with all the other future projects on this car. So as always guys, thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you in the next one.